You really ought to have been a circus artiste, Effie. Always on the trapeze, always flying through the air. I can almost imagine you'd enjoy something like that. Perhaps, Mamma. But if that's the case, whose fault is it? Where do I get it from? It has to be from you. Or do you think I get it from Papa? You see, the very idea makes even you laugh. And then why do you stick me in this pinafore dress, in this boy's smock? Sometimes I think I'm going to be back in short clothes again. And once I'm wearing those, I'll start curtsying like a little girl again. And when the Ratonneau hussars come riding past, I'll ride a cock horse in Colonel Goetz's lap. And why not? He's 3/4 an uncle and only 1/4 a beau. It's your fault. Why don't I get any fine gowns? Why don't you make a lady out of me? Is that what you'd like? No. And with that she dashed over to her mamma, flung her arms round her and kissed her. Not so wild, Effie. You mustn't get into such a passion. It always makes me uneasy when I see you like that. Her mother seemed determined to continue to express her worries and fears, but it didn't come to that, for at that very moment 3 young girls came into the garden through the little iron door in the churchyard wall and set off along a gravel path towards the circular flower-bed and sundial. All 3 waved their parasols as a greeting to Effie, then hurried over to Frau von Briest to kiss her hand. She asked them a few questions, then invited the girls to keep them, or at least Effie, company for half an hour. I've got enough to do as it is, and anyway, young folk prefer to be amongst themselves. Good day to you. And saying which, she went up the stone steps into the wing of the house. And with that, the young folk were truly left to themselves. 2 of the girls, short, plump lasses whose freckles and good humour went very well with their auburn hair, were the daughters of Janke, the church organist and village schoolmaster, who swore by the Hanseatic League, everything Scandinavian, and his favourite writer and fellow Mecklenburger, Fritz Reuter. On the model of the twins, Mining and Lining, from Reuter's popular novel, he had given his own twins the names Bertha and Hertha. The 3rd young lady was Hulda Niemeyer, Pastor Niemeyer's only child. She was more ladylike than the other 2, but boring and conceited, a pale, puffy blonde with weak, slightly protuberant eyes that still seemed to be constantly seeking something, which had induced Klitzing of the Hussars to say, "Doesn't she look as if she's expecting the angel Gabriel to arrive at any moment?" Effie thought that the rather censorious Klitzing was only too right, but still took care not to make any distinction between her 3 friends. She felt least like doing that at this moment, and, leaning her arms on the table, she said, "This tedious embroidery, thank God you're here." "But we drove your mamma away," said Hulda. "No, you didn't. As she said, she would have gone anyway. She's expecting a visitor, you see, an old friend from before she was married. I must tell you about it later. A love story with a hero and a heroine, and ending with renunciation. You'll be amazed, you really will. I've already met Mamma's old friend over in Schwantikow. He's a landrat, a fine figure of a man." "That's the main thing," Hertha said. "Of course it's the main thing. Women womanly, men manly. As you know, that's one of Papa's favourite sayings. And now help me get this table tidied up, otherwise I'll be in for a telling off again." In no time at all the hanks of silk and wool were packed in the basket, and when they were all sitting down, Hulda said, "Come on, Effie, it's time now. The love story with renunciation, or was it not that bad?" "A story with renunciation is never bad. But I can't start until Herta's had some of the gooseberries. She can't take her eyes off them. Anyway, take as many as you like. We can pick some more afterwards. Only throw the hulls well away, or, better still, put them on the newspaper supplement here. Then we'll wrap them up in it and clear everything away. Mamma hates it when the husks are lying all over the place. She's always saying you could slip on them and break your leg." "I don't believe that," Herta said, tucking into the gooseberries. "Me neither," Effie said. "Just think, I fall over at least 2 or 3 times every day, and I've never broken anything. A proper leg doesn't break that easily, certainly not mine, nor yours, Herta. What do you think, Hulda?" "One shouldn't tempt fate. Pride comes before a fall." "Always the governess. You're a born old spinster." "And still hope to get married, and perhaps before you." "Doesn't bother me." "Do you think I'm just waiting for that? That's the last thing I need. Anyway, I'm going to get a husband, and that perhaps soon. I'm not worried. Only recently."